In this video, we will go over section 9.2, securities. We'll talk about cash, stocks, mutual funds, and bonds. So say that you have some cash in your bank account, say that you have like $5,000. What you can do is you can do this very conservative investment called certificate of deposit, CD. That requires you to invest your cash for a fixed period of time and gives you a fixed APY, annual percentage yield. I don't have a CD. I just invest a little bit of money every month. Like my investment is growing every month. But if you have, let's say that you have $5,000 in your bank account, and what you can do is you can deposit this and get something called a certificate of deposit, CD, and the bank will keep that money for a fixed period, maybe 2 years, 3 years, 1 year, and then they will give you some interest on it. I don't think you're allowed to take the money out before the fixed period. I remember my mom having a CD, and she had to make sure her money stays in that deposit for like 3-year period. But that's a very conservative way. Your money isn't going anywhere, it's staying there, earning you the interest. And the two terms, the APY and APR, you do know what APR is. APR is the interest rate for a period of 1 year. But APY is a new word for us today. It's the ratio of the total interest charged for the year to the original principal or the effective interest rate charged. So what I did was I got the formula here for you. We're going to use this. We're going to use this APY formula whenever they ask you to find APY. But a couple problems that we're going to go over will ask you to find the APR given APY. So what I did for you was I just solved for it. This one was given to you in textbook. But the second one that I got down there, I just had to solve for it. So if you have APY equals 1 plus APR divided by n raised to the nth power minus 1, we can solve this for APR. Add 1 to both sides. Just wanted to show you where I got that from. Then APY plus 1 equals 1 plus APR divided by n raised to the nth power, right? How do you undo nth power? What if that was what if that was cubing? Then you will take cube root of both sides. If it was square root, then you will take square root of both sides, right? So you will take nth root of both sides. If you do that, you will get nth root of APY plus 1, they're both under nth root, is equal to 1 plus APR over n. And then you can subtract 1 from both sides to get rid of this plus 1. But notice I'm not subtracting 1 inside this nth root. I'll get nth root of APY, whoopsies, plus 1, and minus 1 outside equals APR divided by n, right? What's the very next step that I will take on both sides? I will multiply both sides by n. And there we go. That's how I got this beautiful equation for you, that formula. Now, since we solved for it once, that's forever ours to use. We're going to be able to use that. And I would just probably draw a parenthesis around that. We solve for it together, let's say. So this is your formula for you to use. If you ever want to convert APR into APY, you will use this one. If you ever want to convert your APY into APR, then you will use that one. But this first one was given to us in our textbook. The second one, we had to just solve for it. But now we have the formula. All we need to do is just plug it in. Okay? All right, let's look at objective 1 together. Example 1, suppose that $6,000 is invested in a 3-month CD. Oh, now let's take a look. 3 months, that's short, that's less than a year. What's the number of compounding period per year for the CD, for this one? So now, what if I make it a little bit easier? Because you may get an example like this. What if you are having a 6-month CD? Then the compounding period is going to be, let me write it down. Compounding period per year is 2. Why? Because 6 months is semi-annual, right? That's half of a year. So half of a year, I mean, if you have 2 halves, you get a whole year. So 6 months CD, the compounding period is it's 2. For 3 months, though, this is what you can do. You can divide 12 by 3. How many 3 months do we have in a year? 4. So the number of compounding period per year is 4. And I will say n equals 4, and we will use n equals 4 here, okay? Do you understand how I got n equals 4? It's because 12 divided by 3 is 4. We have 4 compounding periods per year for a 3-month CD. Not that we're going to wait for a year though, right? This is just a 3-month CD, but want you to find what n is first. And n is simply 12 divided by how long the CD is. So later when you go to example 2, something like 5 year. Now for that one, n is just going to be 1 there. Well, we'll come back to that one in just a second. But let's do this one. But just like how 6 month meant semi-annual, that's why the compounding period was 2. 3 month, make sure you use n equals 4. All right. What is the corresponding APR? Here we go. Now, remember we solved for the APR using APY. So we're just going to use that formula that we resolved, right? Let's plug in everything we know. N is 4 times to the 4th root of APY. Now, remember they gave you APY is 1.2%. So I'm going to convert that into 0.012. 0.012 plus 1, close that 4th root, and then you subtract 1 from it. And I do want to multiply this by 100. But let's do that later. I'm going to open up a scientific calculator. We never really entered 4th root on our TI-30, but I think it has it. So what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to my scientific calculator on my iPad, an app that I downloaded, a calculator app right here. All right, let me type in 4 times, parenthesis, and how do I enter 4th root on this calculator? No. There's gotta be a way. 4th root, hello. I guess I can write this as raised to the 1/4 power, but I wanted to, because I think you guys have it on your calculator. Well, that's just a square root. Now, I'm not going to use this. Why don't I go to Desmos scientific calculator? Desmos scientific calculator. Maybe they have it there. Oh, they have it here. Thank goodness. All right, so I'm going to be able to use this calculator online. And you saw how I found it. I just Googled it. 4 times parenthesis 4th root of. In the parenthesis, in the 4th root, I will have 0.012 plus 1. And get out of that 4th root. And then type in minus 1. But these guys are getting multiplied by 4 outside. Hit enter. So there we go. So we got, oh no, forgot my decimal point here. I apologize. 0.012. Typed something wrong here earlier. 0.012. All right, there we go. And I hit enter. So that's my answer, right? But listen, we want to give them the percentage. So what we can do is we can just multiply that number by 100. So I'm just going to graph this number. I don't think I can do that. 0.0119. 0.011946. That's probably enough. Multiply that by 100. If I do that, I got the APY. I'm sorry. Was it? Oh, no, this is APR. I got the APR to be 1.1946%. Whew, all right. So you just had to get the help of my calculator to figure that out. But let me go back and write this down. So APR is 1.1946%. So what do you need to solve this problem? You need that formula, and you need a good working scientific calculator that can evaluate fourth root. So I got APR. Everything else from now on, I can use this APR. So B, C, D are all similar. They're asking about how much is the investment worth after 3 months, 1 year, and after 5 years. So let's go ahead and do this using the APR. Now remember this one from a while ago. The ending amount is equal to the initial amount times 1 plus APR over n times t power, right? So that's what we're going to do. So if you are making an investment and you're just waiting 3 months, okay, now we have to be careful. Now 3 months is not a whole year. So we should not use t equals 1. T is going to be 3 months out of 12 months, okay? So t is going to be 1/4 really. Why? Because t stands for number of years, right? So if we're just waiting 3 months, then we're doing 3 months out of 12 months. So that's quarter of a year. That makes sense, right? So 3 months is a quarter of a year. So we're going to say t is 1/4. Let's plug in everything we know. The P naught, the initial investment was 6,000. We're going to multiply this by 1 plus APR, we found that to be 1.194%, but I'm going to go ahead and use that decimals calculator. So let me convert this back into a decimal, 0.01194. We're going to divide it by n. Remember, n was 4. And we're going to raise that to 4 times 1/4 power. And we can simplify this a little bit, but that's going to turn into 6,000 times 1 plus 0.01194 over 4. And what is going to be the exponent? If you take a look, if you do 4 times 1/4, that's just going to be 1. And this makes perfect sense. Why? Because the compounding period is exactly 1. It's going to get compounded every 3 months. And if you're just waiting 3 months, you just get that 1 compounding. So it makes sense why the exponent comes out to be 1. All right, let me take a picture of this so that I can go to my decimals calculator. It's taking a little bit longer time, so I may stop the video after objective 1, and then I will come back and go over the other ones. This lesson, oh, not this one. I don't, you know what? I think this one works fine because I don't need the fourth root here. I'm going to do 6,000 times 1 plus, and I need a fraction bar, 0.01194, and I divide this by 4 and close the parentheses. And remember, we're raising this to the first power, so I don't need to raise this to the first power. That's going to be enough. If I hit enter, I get that the ending amount after 3 months of waiting, our money grew $17.91. I mean, that's still something, right? All right, let's go ahead and write that down as our answer. The answer is $6,017.91. All right. Now, let's do 2 more. What if you wait 1 year, 1 whole year? Well, let's plug in everything we know then. Well, the initial investment is still 6,000. We'll do 1 plus APR, 0.01194, divided by n of 4. And the compounding, the n value was 4, but remember we're waiting 1 year, so I'm going to do 4 times 1 over here. So the exponent, the power, is going to be 4 this time, because if you wait 1 year, we're going to have 4 compounding, because every 3 months is going to get compounded. So let's type that in this time into our scientific calculator. And of course, you're expecting to get more money because you waited a longer period of time. All right, let's type in 0.01194 divided by 4. But what's the only difference this time? I'm going to raise this to 4 times 1, right? Or just simply 4. But if you wait 1 year and pass 4 compounding period instead of just 1, you will have how much money after 1 year? $6,071.96. So we just gained $71.96 by just depositing our money or letting the bank borrow our money, $6,071.96. Alrighty, let's do the last one. What if you wait 5 years? Of course, it's gonna be more money, right? Let's go ahead and calculate that. 6,000 is still the principal, plus everything else stays the same, right? Except for we're waiting 5 years. So do 4 times 5. So every 3 months, it's going to get compounded. So that means if you wait 5 years, every 3 months, well, that's going to be 20 times of compounding. So the exponent this time is going to be 20. 4 times 5 is 20. So let's see. Going back over here, I'm going to type in 6,000 times 1 plus a fraction 0.01194 divided by 4. Close the parenthesis and raise that to 4 times 5th power, or just 20. And look, it grew the most. $6,000, 368 and 54 cents. That's it. All right, write this down on your paper, please. All right, let's go back to the notes. Looks like it was restarting, huh? The answer is $6,368.54. All good. Now, I may be a little off on rounding because they did say round to 2 decimal places as needed. Well, I did round to 2 decimal places for the money nearest cents. So I think that should be okay. But when you do this homework and you get they mark it wrong. If my math lab marks it wrong and you are 1 cent away or 2 cents away, just write me an email. I'll fix those for you, okay? So, whoa, that was a little bit difficult. Not bad though. I think you understand everything because we got the formula and we know we just need to figure out what are the inputs, what goes into our formulas. All right, let's do one more. And then I think I will come back and do understanding bonds, stocks, and mutual funds in another video because this one is taking a little bit longer. Example 2. Suppose this time you have $4,500 invested in a 5-year CD. Now this time we're going to wait 5 years. And the APY they're offering is 2.4%. Recall that this means the money must be left with the bank for 5 years. Yeah, so you can't say, oh, I changed my mind, I want my money back. You have to wait 5 years. And they will guarantee an annual rate of return of 2.4% with compounding interest. The number of compounding periods per year for the CD is... Now, I have to be very careful, guys. Did they say anything here? Because for bonds, it's compounding semi-annually, but for CD, excuse me as I look up something real quick, okay? Because I think it's just going to be 1. I think they're just going to compound it every year. But, and I got this problem right off of your homework. It's gotta be 1, but don't want to tell you the wrong thing in the middle of this. So, because we want to make sure that we use the right n value. All right, I'm looking something up real quick on your homework. I bet it's just gonna be 1, but still just wanna double check something. Excuse me. This is similar to your number 2 on your homework. Yeah, the 5-year CD. All right. It doesn't say it. It doesn't say it. So it doesn't say it, but it's a 5-year CD. So this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to go ahead and use... Oh, you know what? Oh, I was looking for it, but take a look. Annual rate compounding interest. So it's annual compounding. I'm going to go ahead and use n equals 1. So they're not going to do monthly compounding. They're just going to do annual compounding. So we're going to say n equals 1. I'm sorry I had a little in a moment, but they're not compounding monthly. They're not compounding semi-annually. They're just compounding annually with this annual rate of return of 2.4%. So if n is 1, guys, a lot of things will get really simple. If n is 1, a lot of things will just be simplified. So you take a look. Let's find the APR. Well, we're going to have to do n times, right? That's going to be 1 times. Oh, what's that going to be? What's first root? Well, we don't really have a first root, right? Square root is when n is 2, but raising something or taking a first root of something, it's not really taking a root. It's like just raising something to 1 first power. So because n is 1, the root goes away. Okay, there's no more root. It's just going to be APY, which we know the APY is 0.024. plus 1, but since the root is just away, I'm going to just subtract 1 there. And we will evaluate this, and we don't need a calculator for this. Notice plus 1 and minus 1, they just cancels out, right? So we'll get 1 times 0.024, which is just 0.024. So I can convert this back into 2.4%. So here's what we found out. If they're doing annual compounding, if a CD is longer than 1 year period, APY is simply the same thing as the APR. Okay. Now the first one that we looked at was a CD that was shorter than 1 year. That was 3-month CD. So that one, the compounding period was, it was not 1. But for this one, anything that has a CD that has longer than 1 year period, the APR is just going to be the same thing as your APY. And you can still confirm that using this formula, but you see they're going to come out to be the same. Well, that's easy. All right, let's keep going then. How much is the investment worth after 2 years? Let's find that out. The initial amount that we invest is $4,500. I'm going to multiply this by 1 plus APR of 0.024 divided by n. N is 1, right? And then we're going to raise it to 1 times how many power? 2. Now, this isn't really a compounding, more frequently. This is the same thing as compounding annually formula. 4,500 times 1 plus 0.024 raised to the second power. Because if n is simply 1, a lot of things just simplify, right? All right, let me go ahead and type this in on my calculator. It was 4,500 times 1 plus 0.024. Hold on a second, I forgot the rate. Whoopsie, not that. What was the rate? 2.4. Okay, 2.4%. 24, close the parenthesis and raise it to the... Oh dear, my memory, guys. Second power. And if I enter, the amount comes out to be $47,018.59. While I'm here, why don't I do the next one? I kind of read that the next one was about 5-year investment. So let me just use my calculator while I'm up here. The next one is going to be for 5 years, and then the investment grows to $5,066. All right. Oh, keep going to the wrong app. So the second one, how much is the investment worth after 2 years? That was 47,18.59, and I went ahead and just kind of figured this out when I was on the calculator. This will turn into 4,500 times 1 plus 0.024 raised to the 5th power. And that amount, when I typed this in the calculator, came out to be $5,066.55, rounded to the nearest cent. So in this lesson, in this video only, we'll come back and finish the rest. I have to. But we simply just looked at going from APY to APR, paying special attention to what that compounding period is to determine what N is. And we figured out the investment amount after 2 years, 5 years, or 3 months using the compounding interest formula. So it's kind of a new thing plus what we did in a previous section. But I will come back and we'll talk about understanding bond.